Probably. All right. Welcome to Sports Scrutiny Live, guys. You are live with Rob. Excuse me, I done messed it up, Rob, but it's all good. You are live with BJ.
And Rob. I suppose I could
Yeah,
say my
guys.
own name, right?
Yeah, he can say his own name. I gotta get it right, y'all. I'm sorry. All right. So of course, we bring to you the hottest topics in today's sports. Um, and we got some pretty good stuff, don't we, Rob?
We got something. I don't know about good stuff, but yeah, we got something.
Yeah, man. Um, I was talking to Rob earlier, and I told him, I said, man, I said I got so many notes for the show tonight. It's gonna be a good one. So y'all make sure y'all stay tuned. Let us know what you're talking about. So we are gonna start off a little different again this week, and we are gonna go to the NBA.
Yeah, the season
NBA
started.
season. NBA season is officially underway. So um, we're gonna start off with let's see here.
A little
Couple
bit
of
of
games.
info.
We're not gonna be quite as in depth on NBA while the NFL is going on right now because all the attention, of course, is on the NFL. So NFL requires a lot of attention. So right now we're just gonna give you some quick stats on NBA and we'll talk about it every night.
Yeah, but if
We'll
some
talk
big
about it.
injuries or some big trades come up, we're definitely gonna
Oh
hit you
yeah,
with that shit.
yeah, oh yeah, big stuff, big stuff. Starting off, the 76ers versus the Pistons. It was all. I mean, like I said, dude, I didn't get a chance to watch that game, but I watched the highlights from that game. And if you ask me, bro, it was all Simmons and Embiid, man. I mean, straight up. I mean, it was one ball. One had the ball, they passed it to the other. If the other had the ball, they passed it back. That's just how it was, And the Pistons couldn't keep up, man. Um, I went back and watched a little bit of the game, and I noticed that. But together, they scored 19 points in the first quarter when the Pistons had a total as a team of 22 points in the first quarter. So that lets you know who was doing most of the scoring. Um, Embiid, it was all Embiid the first half. It was all Embiid the second half. Simmons gets his first NBA triple double, and I mean, and Embiid scores a total of 30 points. So that lets you know what kind of game that was. I mean, that was. Whew,
What was
it's
the
just
final
the
score?
Pistons look lost, man.
Did you have a final score?
The final score was a high scoring game. I didn't write that one down. It was like one. It was like right over 100 to like 84. I do remember that. I didn't write that one down. Also, the Hawks went at the Heats. The Hawks lost to the Heats, 93 to 104. Miami sets franchise record for making 13 3-pointers in the first half.
Wow.
So they had a pretty good game. That was a close one though. That was definitely a high scoring game. But I actually caught that game. It was a pretty good game. Golden State beat the Mavs. Dude, this one I did see too. 133 to 103.
Oh yeah,
Kevin
see, I
Durant,
wrote that. I
Steph
wrote that down
Curry.
too. That was crazy.
Yeah, dude. Kevin Durant, Steph Curry, and Klay Thompson combined scored 75 points that game. And the Mavericks.
Wow.
I don't know what to say, dude. They hadn't won a game yet. Well, they played what, 3 games,
I think so. Yeah.
4 games now.
I think they're up to three
And
games.
they hadn't won a game. Dude, they got to get it together, bro. But Mark Cuban's sitting over there hanging out with Post Malone on the sidelines.
He's a billionaire. He don't care.
I mean, like, what are
Man,
you
when you're
doing
worth
here,
five, when you
man?
when you're worth $5 billion, it don't matter.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Um, yeah, man. But Jordan Bell, uh, he rejected the ball one time. Somebody went up for a layup, and he just rejected his own ball. Okay, and then took that turnover and scored. I was like, man, like, they got to
How do
get
you
it together,
reject your
bro.
own ball?
He slapped the ball. The dude was going up. He blocked the ball. He
Oh,
rejected the
okay.
layup and caught his own rebound and scored the
Oh, okay.
points.
Okay.
Yeah,
I was
that's what I'm
confused what
trying
the
to
hell you were
say,
saying.
man. That's crazy. That's about all I got as far as some standouts, man, from NBA. I didn't
Yeah,
get
and
a.
I didn't get too much into it, but some of the scores that I had yesterday, I had the Grizzlies beating the Rockets 98 to 90. I didn't watch any of the highlights for that game, but I was a little bit surprised that the Rockets took a loss this early in the season. Then I had the Hornets. They fell to the Bucks 103-94, and then obviously the Warriors dominated the Mavericks 133-103.
Mm-hmm.
Then the Spurs beat the Raptors 101-97. That was a pretty close one. The Nuggets lose to the Wizards 109-104, and the Suns beat the Kings 117-115. Those were the games yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
But like we said earlier, the NBA is finally underway. But
Oh yeah.
we're not gonna get too deep into the NBA while the NFL is still really hot. But if anything comes up, we're definitely gonna hit you guys with it. It's just
Mm-hmm.
not what's it's not the fire conversation right now. NFL is
Right.
big, and even the MLB. Last week the Yankees fell short um, to the Astros in a game 7. And the Astros are playing the LA Dodgers in the World Series. Actually, I think game 1 is uh, being played currently right now. And even then, the MLB after the World Series, there is no more MLB, so we'll still be talking about the NFL. And as long as the NFL is still here, uh, that's going to be the hottest topic. But
Mm-hmm.
we will bring you guys any further, hot topics involving the NBA.
Oh
But for
yeah.
now,
We'll keep
our
up. We'll
focus
definitely keep up.
for now our focus is the NFL. We'll dabble in some tennis. We'll bring you guys MMA news. But after that, I got the scores for this past week, and later on in the show, BJ is going to talk about our predictions last week and how accurate we
Oh
were.
boy. Oh, it's not looking good, Rob.
We'll,
It's not looking good, bro.
we'll hopefully better than some of the teams this week. This
Ooh,
week, I believe there were 3 shutouts. Three
three,
shutouts.
bro.
3.
It's
The
nasty.
Thursday night game was
Our predictions.
definitely the Thursday night game. I don't know if you watched it. I think everybody
Mm-hmm.
watched it, but I think it was an amateur showing. Thursday night football to me was a bunch of like high school footballers running around. It was just
Yeah.
full of silliness and penalties and a bunch of bad plays, drop passes, and people not tackling people. The Raiders did beat the Chiefs though, in our last. Well, I say last play, but it was the like third play when the time was expired. 30, they won 31 to
Mm-hmm.
30. But basically, to touch base on that game, I can remember like 4 different occasions where a wide receiver would catch the ball, get hit, and then the defender would just stop, thinking, "Oh yeah, I hit you enough. You can just go ahead." And
Mm-hmm.
then the wide receiver would lunge like 4 or 5 yards. It was just like that's the type of stuff that you do in high school when you're still learning. And then there was a
Right.
bunch of passes that were thrown at feet. I mean, Derek Carr, he was on fire, but it's
Mm-hmm.
just Alex Smith and Derek Carr were just throwing passes over people's heads, and even when they weren't under pressure, they were throwing some bad passes. And then the end of the game, it's just like the Chiefs had it won 3 different times, 2 different times. Like, how do you have 2 penalties to cause additional plays after the clock when you actually stop them from winning? Like,
Yeah.
I can
Yeah.
understand maybe one. Okay, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, everybody makes but a second one. It's amateur football.
Hey.
Thursday night amateur
Hey.
football. That's what that was. But the Raiders beat the Chiefs 31-30. The Chiefs got their second loss in a row. Uh, they were actually speaking of that. They were actually. Did you know the Chiefs were 12-0 in division games before that Thursday night game?
Mm-hmm.
That
I
was
think
their
I saw
first
that.
loss in
I think I
12
saw
games.
that.
Yeah, that was wild.
Yeah.
So the Bucks go to Buffalo and they put up a good battle, but they fall short by a I think 14-second field goal. 14 seconds left in the game. Field goal. Um,
Mm-hmm.
the Buffalo Bills beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But Jameis Winston, he went 32 for 44 for 384 yards with 3 touchdowns, but he
Three
did have one.
touchdowns.
Yeah,
Three
one.
touchdowns.
Yeah,
Yeah.
one INT. That was take away that INT, and they probably would have won that game.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Then we got rookie.
OJ Howard got 2 touchdowns on that game too. Tight end.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You're right. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Then we
Everybody,
got
real quick. Everybody, real quick. Hit the like button. Whoever's watching right now, hit the like button. All right, go ahead.
the rookie safety Eddie Jackson became the first person in NFL history to have 2 defensive touchdowns of 75 or more yards, and he helped lead the Bears over the Panthers 17-3. The Bears held the Panthers to just a field goal, and they beat them obviously 17-3. But
Mm-hmm.
that's amazing. Rookies are just killing it this year. A
Dude,
safety
but
had two.
The Bears stunned them. They didn't just beat them. They stunned the Carolina Panthers,
Oh
bro.
yeah, no, most definitely, most
I
definitely.
mean, that was.
But
I mean,
think about this. Take away those 2 defensive touchdowns by the rookie. Okay, that's 14 points. The game still would
okay,
have been 3-3.
okay,
So had
yeah.
that rookie not shown up and did those 2 record breaking
Eddie Jackson.
touchdowns, yeah, Eddie Jackson, had he not shown
Yeah.
up and broke a record, the game would have
Mm-hmm.
probably went to overtime and would have ended maybe 6-3 or possibly just 10-3.
Mm-hmm.
So Eddie Jackson, he came in big for the Bears, and
But
yes, the Bears
not
defense
only
did
did
stun
Eddie,
the Panthers.
yeah, man. I mean, but not only did Eddie Jackson score 2 defensive touchdowns, he had 5 quarterback sacks.
Oh
Five.
yeah, but that was set up. That was just how the Bears always play. Their scheme is usually always a safety blitz.
Mm-hmm.
They always got safety blitzes going. And then we had a hot one in Cleveland. There was no touchdown scored in Cleveland on Sunday. Titans actually won 12-9 in overtime. The Browns are still winless, but it was in overtime. I believe with like 2 minutes left in overtime. The
Mm-hmm.
Titans kick a
Mm-hmm.
field goal and won the game 12-9, but there was no touchdowns. And the Browns are obviously still winless.
No,
It's oh, but sad. That was
12
a
to
sad,
9.
that was a sad game.
Overtime.
That was a
Overtime,
sad game.
12
That was
9.
a sad game. I'm glad I
Yeah.
didn't watch it because I probably would have fell asleep.
I know.
Then the Saints go into Green Bay and make a ton of mistakes, but they recover late to beat an Aaron Rodgers list. No Aaron Rodgers. They beat the Packers 26-17, but the Saints had so many mistakes. I couldn't. It was like the Green Bay should have won that game, but the Saints picked up their feet and tied their shoes, late in the game. But you know, we saw the weaknesses. We saw how I hate to say it's bad Green Bay Packers are without Aaron Rodgers.
Oof.
They couldn't capitalize on a ton of mistakes. But
And
imagine if
it's
that score. I think about all the mistakes the Saints made. If Aaron Rodgers had been there, that score probably would have been 50 something to 20 something.
exactly. Yeah.
It would have
I
been
mean, but
way
Brett
different.
Hundley, I mean, he gets his first career starter loss. I mean, that's his first, loss as in his
Right.
career as the
Starter, yeah.
starting quarterback. Yeah, the Packers are getting a glimpse of what life is like without Aaron Rodgers. So I think that they're
Well, this isn't the first time they've been without Aaron Rodgers. Wasn't he hurt in
no, it's not the
2012?
first time. No, yeah, he was injured, yeah, but
Yeah.
this isn't the first time, but this is the time right now.
Right.
And they're
Right.
going through. They now they're starting to see how important Aaron, how key important of a player Aaron Rodgers is for
Yeah.
that team. You know,
You're right.
he was just 12. Brett Hundley was 12 or 25 passes for only 87 yards. He just has to get focused, man. I understand he's under a lot of scrutiny right now, but he's got to focus, man. What do you think Brett Hundley can do differently to to be better to help his team, get the win?
I think. I mean, if it were me, I would say he's probably. It's like a mental game for him. I think he's
Yeah,
thinking too much. He needs to think less and trust more. Trust more in what the people are saying around him.
right.
But
Because
other
those
other
and
other
those guys are going to be there for him.
yeah, other than that, we're gonna move on to the first shutout of the week. The Jacksonville Jaguars were without their starting running back, Leonard Fournette, but they ended up shutting the door on the Colts and the victory 27-0. Blake
Hmm.
Bortles throws for a season high 330 yards, and for the Jacksonville Jaguars to put on such a just a clinic in defense, man. The Jacksonville Jaguars,
Mm-hmm.
they are just their defense is awesome. I've been saying that week after week now. It seems like, I mean, the Jacksonville Jaguars. Earlier in the season, I thought Denver Broncos were going to have the best defense in the NFL, but it's looking like the
Right.
Jacksonville Jaguars are making a statement.
27-0. I mean, they beat the Colts. I mean,
Oh yeah,
that's
they
one of
beat the
those
Colts, even
shutouts.
without their starting running back too. Like Blake Bortles is not the best quarterback, or he's a quarterback. We'll just say that. And
Yeah.
he threw for 330 yards on the Colts defense, but then the Colts couldn't score. So there was that. And then the of um, second shutout of the weekend was in LA. The Rams shut out the Cardinals. The Los Angeles Rams shut out the Cardinals in a 33-0
Yep.
victory.
33-0.
Um, Unfortunately,
Jesus.
Carson Palmer, I believe he broke his left arm. I think in the
Yeah,
first
he
quarter.
did.
It was either first or
Second
second
quarter.
quarter. Second quarter, yeah.
Second quarter.
That, wow. So week one,
Dude, the
the
offense was
Cardinals.
lost. The offense was
The
completely
Cardinals
lost.
lost. They lost David Johnson in week one. He should be back towards the end of the season. But now they lost Carson
Mm-hmm.
Palmer. Of course, they did pick up Adrian Peterson. But now they lost Carson Palmer, their starting quarterback. It's like, what are they going to do now? They lost their two
Yeah.
main offensive weapons. I mean, they still have Larry Fitzgerald, but Larry Fitzgerald,
Mm-hmm.
he's not going to do much, with a backup quarterback. That's obvious.
Right.
A wide receiver is always better with their starting quarterback. They lost their
Right.
starting quarterback last week, and they won't have their starting running back for, probably 6, 7 more weeks, from what I've read.
Yeah. They
They still
said.
have
Yeah. He said
They
he
still have
was.
Adrian Peterson. So go ahead.
Yeah. Todd Gurley totaled a total of 154 yards plus a touchdown last night. So he put on a pretty impressive game. But
Yeah, I think that's
I
his.
mean, did you notice?
That's his second game with 150 yards, ain't it? I think it is.
Mm-hmm.
I think
Yeah.
it
I was
is.
just getting ready to that. But did you notice that the man? It was just how
The
lost they look
Cardinals.
after.
Yeah,
Yeah, man. It was like wow.
yeah.
The Cardinals are their NFC West rival.
Oh yeah.
But so this was a pretty important game. This was a hyped up game, and you just beat your rival 33-0. I don't know, man.
Bunch of brittle players this year.
Yeah.
Telling you, they're soft like
Go ahead, man.
wet noodles. But down in
Yeah,
Miami, it's all
obviously.
about Miami. I swear is all about the comebacks this year, because they had another 14-point deficit comeback in the fourth quarter.
Hmm.
The Dolphins beat the Jets 31-28. The
Yep.
Dolphins are 4-2, bro. I think they're tied for second in their division. It is unreal the
Jordan
amount of
Jenkins.
comebacks. But
Go ahead.
talking to Miami, what's his name? Jay Cutler got hurt, and
He got
Matt Moore
hurt.
came in. Matt Moore came in, and he led the comeback. But no matter who's at the wheel, Miami is just. This is their second. I think they came back on um, the Falcons last week, and they come back on the Jets this week.
Hmm.
And talking about the Falcons, this is the second week in a row they lost to this division. Last week they lost
the
to Miami, and this
Patriots.
week they lost to the Patriots.
The
We'll
Patriots
talk about that.
killed
We'll talk
them.
about that. Yeah,
They
we'll talk about
killed
that
them.
game in a few minutes. But what were you gonna say about Miami? You were just about to
No,
say
I was
something.
just saying that Jordan Jenkins was the one who plowed through Jay Cutler like that. I mean, he's got a chest injury.
Oh
You
yeah.
know, I mean that's pretty serious, bro.
No,
Like this is.
it's not a chest injury. It's a few ribs. I think he has a
Oh,
few
is it
broken
ribs?
ribs. Yeah, a few broken ribs. Yeah, he got hit
He
real
broke his
hard.
ribs through the pads. Yeah, through the pads, he broke his ribs. Wow, that's
That's like
football,
some
man.
James Harris. That's some James Harrison, Ray Lewis type of hit.
Yeah, yeah.
But I'm not sure if I say this dude's name, but Kaya Forbath kicked 6 field goals to aid the Vikings past the Ravens 24-16. 6 field goals, bro. And I'm not sure if I say his
That's
name yet.
garbage.
Kaya Forbath. He
Hmm.
made 6 field goals, helped the Vikings win 24-16 past the Ravens. The Ravens aren't doing too hot this year. But for
Latavius Murray though, he ran 113 yards. He ran for 113 yards though.
yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
No, you're right. You're right. But
He
to lose
did.
to lose to some field goals, come on, field goals. This isn't soccer.
What'd you say?
This the field goals, bro. This isn't soccer. We
Oh
need to
yeah.
start
Oh
we need to
yeah.
start running the ball across the line and throwing the ball across the line. Field goals are for the
Yeah.
extra point. That's why
I
they
guess he
have
had. I guess he had to get the win some way somehow, man.
yeah, he had to do something. But
He had to do
this next
something.
game helped you in your fantasy this week. Ezekiel Elliott had
Man, didn't help enough.
219 total yards and 3 touchdowns to help push the Cowboys over the 49ers 40-10. San Francisco is still winless. Still winless.
Hmm.
49ers are really fighting against the Browns for that first round pick next year. Don't know who it's going to be, but
But did you see that? Did you see that catch and run that Ezekiel Elliott did when Dak Prescott threw him that and he ran for 72 yards?
oh yeah. That was that was that was the Ezekiel Elliott of last season.
Yeah, yeah. I was about to say that's last year's Ezekiel Elliott. He's coming back though. He's letting us know he's still here.
Yeah, he's getting all that. He's getting as much playtime in before they suspend him. Now that's still
Hmm.
on, just we don't know when it's gonna be, and he doesn't know when it's gonna be. Just imagine if the
Hmm.
Cowboys go to like they win 11 games, they go to the playoffs, and they're like, oh, suspended, and they're gonna be in the playoffs without their starting running back.
Hmm.
But I believe the story about the Cowboys this past week was Des Bryant didn't play, and they won 40-10. I don't think Des Bryant started in the 49ers game. So that actually says a lot. There's a little bit of drama going on over there with that too.
I
We'll
heard
have to
about that.
yeah, we'll have to dabble in that next week because
Oh yes.
there's not a
We gotta
lot
let it
being said.
unfold, let it unravel,
Yeah.
so we can
We'll,
scrutinize.
yeah, we'll let that roll out later. But Le'Veon Bell gets 192 total yards as the Steelers shut down the Bengals in the second half. Steelers 29, Bengals 14. This is the second game in a row that Le'Veon Bell has really stood out. I believe he had 182 rushing yards last week.
Hmm.
Then he has 192 total yards this week.
Hmm.
But the Bengals, they scored 2 early touchdowns, one touchdown in the first half, early, in the first quarter early, and then they had a touchdown in the second quarter, late in the second quarter, I believe. And then the Steelers are just like, nope,
Hmm.
no more scoring for you, and they beat their division rivals 29-14.
To
That was
14. Le'Veon Bell rushed 134 yards.
yeah, 134. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, but still, it just seems like they finally figured out the rhythm. It's like give Le'Veon
Hmm.
Bell the ball 15 to 19 times, and we're gonna win.
Right.
He's just so
Exactly.
fire right now. Like
Yeah, he is. I mean, he is.
he
He's
found his
doing his
rhythm
thing,
basically.
man.
He found his rhythm. I feel
Yeah.
like he found his rhythm. And then this week right here, the most shocking to me this week was the third shutout, and this has a lot to do with the quarterback, that situation that they got going over there in Denver. But the Chargers beat the Broncos 21-0.
21-0.
And I was hyping up the Denver defense the first like 4 weeks of the season. I thought they were just so good, but no, they get
You
beat by
think
the
it's because?
Chargers.
But do you think it's because Emmanuel Sanders is out?
I don't think so. As long as they got Von Miller to lead them, I think that they'll still be solid. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on over there in Denver. All I
I
know
don't
is
know
that
either, dude.
Trevor Siemian, he needs to, I don't know, go to school or
But
something. Figure something out.
it was so clear, man. It was clear that something was missing. You know what I'm
Oh yeah,
saying? Like
they just
it
don't have
was
they don't have
obvious.
quarterback play.
Mm-mm.
Like all the games that Denver has won, Trevor Siemian has played at least above average. And it just
Mm-hmm.
seems like when he doesn't show up, they're trash. They just lose. I mean, getting shut out by the Chargers.
Yeah.
Either the Chargers are coming on strong these past 2 weeks, or they're still average and they're just getting lucky wins. I haven't figured it out yet, but I'm not getting behind the
Nah.
Chargers. I'm not getting behind the
They
Chargers
might
yet.
be kicking
I
off the
can't get by.
week.
I can't get behind the Chargers yet. Not
Not
yet.
yet.
Not for me yet. I
Nah.
mean, LA, they moved to
They
three
gotta
and
win a few
four.
more games.
They're still 3-4. They moved to 3-4, and then Denver moves to 3-3. But I can't get behind LA yet. And then
Not yet.
over there in Seattle,
They gotta win a few more games.
yeah, they gotta show me something else. And then Denver, man, Denver, I don't know. Anyways, over there in Seattle, Russell Wilson throws for 2 touchdowns in the second half, and Seattle's defense dominates the 1-6, the now 1-6 Giants, 24-7. Russell Wilson is really putting the team on his back these past few weeks,
What
and
happened to the Giants, man? What happened, bro?
they're mice, bro. I swear, I'm gonna call them up and be like, you need to rename your team.
I'm glad I didn't start Eli Manning this week because he scored 73 fantasy points. So I'm glad I didn't start Eli
73,
Manning.
yeah, 73 in our league. Yeah, 73 in
In
our
our
league.
league,
Yeah.
yeah. 73 in our league, which is the higher
Yeah,
scoring league.
we got a different system going on in our league. But you're right. And we had a really close finish in our fantasy when um we were both missing players. You were missing a wide receiver. I was missing my starting running back, and it came
Mm-hmm.
down to I think point 0.2 points,
Point one.
point point 0.1
It was
points
point one.
final. And then we made some adjustments. We replaced some players, and then the score was just like it was like 40 points off. But that was wild. What's his name?
Yeah.
Wentz almost got it for you. Ezekiel Elliott pushed those 200 some odd points for you. Who came on for me? Jordan Reed. That was who pushed it. That was who pushed it over
Jordan
the
Reed
edge
did
for
it for
me.
you, man. He did it for you. But it's all right. It's always next week. So don't get too comfortable in that.
We don't play each
Go
other next
ahead.
week. I ain't worried about you.
Well,
But
there's always another week. We'll play each other again.
that was the second week we played. I won't. We won't play each other again.
Oh, okay.
That was the second time because the
Lucky.
first week I played was back when my buddy Billy had the team. We played and he beat me.
And I didn't beat you the first. I lost to you the first. I lost to you both times. The
No,
first time is because I forgot to set my lineup though, and
no,
you
no,
know
no,
it.
no. I only played you twice. I only played your team twice, and that was the first week when my friend Billy he had the team. You know what I mean? And then
Oh
you took over
yeah.
his team, and that was
Yeah,
the
that's
second time
right.
we
That's
played.
right.
But we're getting way off topic. We're live here. We're talking about personal stuff. But the Super Bowl rematch. I watched this whole game, and it was actually I didn't watch the whole game. I turned it off in the fourth quarter because it was really boring. But the Super Bowl rematch was the Patriots. Uh,
Yeah. And the Falcons.
yeah, the Patriots and the Falcons. I couldn't remember who the team was because there just wasn't anybody playing that week or that game. It was just all Patriots.
23-7.
Yeah, 23 to
23 and
7.
7.
But it would have been 23-0 had they not scored at the end. So it was just like I don't
They
even.
scored. Yeah,
It's like
yeah.
whatever.
They
Who cares
scored at
about
the
that
end.
touchdown? Who cares? That's like a nothing touchdown. But man,
Hmm.
Tom Brady putting a
But he
team on his
got it.
back. First of all, Tom Brady putting a team on his back. And you know what I noticed in that game? It was all coaching. I mean, I get. It sounds like I'm giving credit to Tom Brady, but I'm not because that was all coaching. It's like
Hmm.
Bill Belichick baited him the whole game. The Falcons went out there. They were the first quarter, 4th and 5, and they went for it from midfield. And then the second
Hmm.
quarter, I believe, with like 2 minutes left, 4th and 6 in midfield. Now just think about that. If they had just punted, they would have gave Tom Brady the whole field, okay, with
Right.
like 2 minutes left, and maybe because we'll give credit to Tom Brady, he'd have drove down there and they'd kicked the field goal, so it would have been only 10-0 at half, or
Okay.
no, it would have been 13. It would have been 13-0 at half. But instead, they go for it, miss, they fail. So now you got Tom Brady midfield going down the field before half scores, so it's 17-0. So
They get
I mean, I know.
they handed it to him. They handed him the W.
Yeah, they basically just gave him. Now, I mean, take away the fact that they didn't even score until the end. So no matter what would have happened, it was irrelevant. But just think about it: 13-0 at half versus a 17-0 at half. That would make a big difference going into the
Hmm.
locker room with a
Going in,
discussion.
yeah,
Because you walk
yeah,
into the
yeah.
locker room having just gave up. You missed. First of all, you missed the fourth down, and then you just gave up a touchdown.
Hmm.
That hurts the morale a little bit. That's a little bit different than because you could have taken the chance of stopping Tom Brady with the full field, making them punt, and then
Hmm.
maybe you might have had some time to go down. Well, you wouldn't have had any time because Tom Brady wouldn't have let you have the ball again. But either way, it could have been 10-0 at the half or 13 to
Hmm.
nothing at the half. But instead, you want to gamble and play into Bill Belichick's hand basically, and let them go into the half 17-10. It's like no matter what Bill Belichick was running, no matter what scheme they were doing, because as you know, and I've talked about this a lot, the Patriots defense have sucked all season. Up until this game, I believe the
I don't
Patriots.
think so. I don't
No,
think
no,
it's
no.
been that bad.
Just think about it. Let's just wait. Up until this game, every single quarterback that has played the Patriots has thrown for more than 300 yards.
That's true. That is true. Okay, okay, okay. Now but
Now,
that's on
Matt Ryan,
paper though. I mean, that's the way it sounds on paper, but I don't think it's quite that bad when you. I mean,
it's bad,
when
bro.
you
Bad.
it's
Just
bad.
okay.
Okay, it's
Just
bad.
wait. I'm
I'm
getting into
trying.
it. I'm getting into it. Matt Ryan, probably the best quarterback that they faced, in my opinion. I mean, yeah, they did face a hot team of Alex Smith, but this is the current MVP. Matt Ryan won the MVP last year. This is the
Yeah.
best quarterback that they've played this season so far, and they held him to like 223 yards. He's the first quarterback to not throw for 300 yards against the Patriots defense this season. That's saying something. Now, I started talking about the Atlanta Falcons a couple weeks ago. I took them off my top 10. I said I'm not falling into this. Back when they were 3-1, I was like, nope,
Uh-oh.
I'm not falling into this. They're still an average team. They could have been 1-3. I'm
Hmm.
not doing this. I think you remember me saying this,
I
and we can
remember
go
you
back and
saying
watch the
that.
show. And I said I'm not falling
Yep.
into the hype. I don't care. I'm not doing it. And I was right. I was 100% right.
I
They
remember you
they are
saying that,
just
bro.
they choked against who was it, the Dolphins? How do you let the Dolphins come back with Jay Cutler of all people? 17-0 at the half, and the
Yeah.
Dolphins come back and win 20
17
to
to nothing, and then
17.
oh god, 17 to nothing.
And then you go into Foxborough for the Super Bowl rematch. Coming off of the Super Bowl, you were up 25 points. I mean, I'm not even going to get into that. That's a whole. We could have a whole video talking about the Super Bowl with me. I'm not even going to get into that.
Hmm.
You go into Foxborough and you basically play into Bill Belichick's hands. You go on. You have some silly fourth down attempts that should have never even happened.
Hmm.
I mean, yeah, you converted the one in
Right.
the first quarter, but that's irrelevant. Like that's just the first quarter. You don't even know what your defense, like they didn't know how their defense was going to play against Tom Brady. So going forward on fourth, I
Right.
guess that was fine because you didn't get to see
Right.
how your defensive scheme was going to play against the scheme of the Patriots offense. So I guess I understand that,
Right.
but that fourth quarter one, I can't agree with that. I don't know what's going on over there. What's going on over there? I mean, it might have a lot to do
Okay.
with they. I know they have a new uh offensive coordinator, but all the talent is the same. They don't have anybody new. They didn't lose anybody big. They still have all their major players that they had last year. And I honestly, the head coach said he said at the beginning of the season, we have a new offensive coordinator, but the playbook is basically still the same. So what the hell is going on in Atlanta? If everything's the same,
Uh,
if everything's the same except the coordinator, what are you doing? What's going on? You guys were so hot
Do you think it's do you think it's more like do you think it's are you blaming like are you putting that in the lap of the coaching or are you putting that would you put that more in the lap of the team? Like
I
that's
think
a
it's
serious
performance.
question. Like would you
I think it's
who would
performance
you
of the
blame
team.
that on? Yeah.
I think it's performance of the team because they've already stated, okay, you get an offensive coordinator. I get that. That changes a little bit of things. But then your head coach comes out and
Hmm.
says the playing, like their schemes are still all the same as they were last
Right.
year. But obviously, they're not going to be the same as last year because people know what they did last year. But the direction that you want to take the team is still the same. It's like,
Right.
what's going on? So you have to put a little
Yeah.
bit of you have to put most of the weight. I'd probably say about 70-30, 70 being on the performance of the players, 30 being on the coaching. So,
Hmm.
I mean, I don't know. Matt Ryan is not playing. It's almost like, think about it this way. The Atlanta Falcons, they could either play as the team that made it to the Super Bowl or play as the team that lost in the Super Bowl because those are two very different teams.
Two
So the
very
Atlanta
different
Falcons,
teams.
the Atlanta Falcons were hot going into the Super Bowl, and obviously we saw that they were up 25 points.
Yeah, they knocked Green Bay out.
Yeah, they killed Green Bay, and then they killed Green Bay again
Yeah.
this year. That's a whole nother thing. We won't get into that, but that's the way I see it. It's like instead of playing as the team that went to the Super Bowl, that made it to the Super Bowl, they're playing as the team that lost in the Super Bowl. It's like they can't get
Yeah.
over it. It's like
That's
it
a good way
was
to put it.
last year. You have to move on. You
Yeah.
have to get it out of your system or something. I mean, they were playing good.
True. True.
Well, they were playing average. Not I take that back because they were 3-1, and I was talking all that shit saying that they really honestly could have been 1-3. I don't even know what I have their records written somewhere, but I don't want to look for it because I talked about this game too much. I don't even like the Falcons. But anyways, we're going to talk about one of probably the best team in the NFL right now. Oh, we had a great game on Monday Night Football. We had the Redskins. They go into Philadelphia, but they lose 24-31. Philadelphia is 6-1. They're hot. They're fire. Carson Wentz, he passed. He made 17 completions of 25 attempts for 268 yards with 4 touchdowns. And
Four TDs.
not
Four
only that,
TDs.
not only that, but I think he led his team in rushing. Either he led his team in rushing or he was just the main rusher. But he rushed 8 carries as a quarterback for
Yep.
63 yards.
He
But
did. He did
keep
that.
in mind,
And that's a
keep in,
fact. Because sports scrutiny only delivers facts.
but keep in mind, I've been talking about Carson Wentz since I think week 2. I think week 3, I told him I even stated that he was like a wizard. He was a magician in the
You
pocket.
said it. You
And
said it.
last week when you didn't even put Carson, you put him like 5th on your list or something. Or you
Nope.
didn't even have him on your list. I was like, what is your problem? You had Alex Smith first, which I can kind of agree with because he's been playing hot. But to not have Carson Wentz on your list,
I mean,
it's
it
like,
was just
man,
I told you it was a battle for it was a battle for that spot that I had open at number 4 spot, and
I'm
I
gonna say right now, I'm gonna say it right now. 2017 football season, the best quarterback in the league right now is Carson Wentz, followed closely with Tom Brady.
I was gonna put if I had to choose, um, I would say Tom Brady, but I think Dak Prescott is gonna come up. He's gonna. I think we're gonna see the best of Dak Prescott this year.
I think I agree with you. We might see the best of him, but I don't think the best of him is going to be to the level of a Carson Wentz, Alex Smith, Tom Brady type of style. I don't think so. I think
Okay.
the one person that's going to come up and show out is Derek Carr. I think he's going to
Okay.
blow up huge in these next couple games.
I can agree
But
with that.
those are all the scores. Did I say the score? Oh yeah, the Philadelphia they won 34-20
Yeah. Yeah.
for 10 points. That was a good game. And that was you have your top 10?
Okay. So we
Oh
got
wait, you have the our predictions for last week.
I do. I was gonna go through that first. Yeah, I definitely was
Yeah.
gonna go through our predictions for last week. So starting
What was the first
off
game?
The first game I wrote down was the Chiefs versus the Raiders,
What did we say?
and I said the Chiefs would win that one, and I was completely wrong. Completely wrong.
I think
You
I said the
predicted the
same thing,
score to
didn't I?
be no. Yeah, you did say the same thing. Yeah, you said the
Yeah.
same thing, but you said that they would lose 38-10,
Okay.
but they really lost. They lost by 1 point, which that was a
Yeah, yeah.
super close game. So we almost had it right. So that's all that matters.
We almost have
The
nothing right. We're way
second,
off. Shit. We're way
I'm
off.
saying in our prediction, we almost had it right, and who would win, not the score. Score was way
We both
off.
said we both said the Chiefs.
Yeah, but they only lost by a point.
Actually, you're right, because technically the Chiefs should have won if they had not played like amateurs and had
exactly,
some
exactly. They only
penalties
lost
at the
by a
end.
point. All right, so
Yeah,
we had the
loss is a
Ravens and
loss.
the Vikings.
Oh
The
yeah, what did
Raven,
we
we
say?
had the I said the Ravens. And I was completely wrong. You were right because you predicted the Vikings would win. You were actually pretty close with this one. The actual score was 24-16, and you predicted 28-14. So that actually
Oh,
wasn't that far off.
yeah,
And
that's pretty
I
good.
had to
That's pretty
mention
good.
that because that was a pretty good prediction, Rob. You were
Yeah,
pretty
that was pretty
spot
good.
on. Yeah. Packers at the Saints. I was right. I'm sorry, guys. I love my Packers, but I bet against you guys last week. I'm sorry. Uh, Tried to give Hundley the benefit of the doubt, hoping that he would do something and show us something and take that pressure and turn it. Do kind of like what Dak Prescott did when he came in. Take all that
What did
pressure and just.
what was the score we said? What did we say?
You said 45-7. It ended up being 26-17. You were way off on that one, but
Yeah,
on the
I think I was just
prediction.
trying to be cocky, just shut down the Green Bay Packers.
Yeah, you said 45-7, bro. I was like, what? All right. So next was the Jets at the Dolphins. Um, you predicted that the Dolphins would win with a score of 17-14. So the Jets won. You were wrong on that one. You said the Dolphins would win. So BJ 2, Rob 0. No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding, bro. Um, let's see what's next. Panthers versus the Bears. I predicted the Panthers would win that one because I
Wait, what are
had
you talking
faith
about?
in Cam Newton.
What are you talking about?
Huh?
The Dolphins beat the Jets.
That's what I said, Rob. You predicted the Dolphins would win.
I know, so I was right.
Did I say you were wrong?
Yeah.
My fault. My fault. Well, Rob was right. My bad. Panthers at the Bears. I predicted the Panthers would win because I had faith in Cam Newton this week,
What
but
did I
it
say?
didn't. It didn't happen. The Panthers lost terribly. 33. Jesus Christ, they lost terribly. Anyways, uh, so I was wrong on that one. Cardinals and the Rams. We both predicted the Cardinals. The
Well,
Cardinals
what did we
lost
say?
33 to
What was
0.
the score we said for the Panthers Bears?
You said 3-17.
Is that what I said?
Yeah,
What was the score?
17-3.
No way.
Yeah, you predicted 17-3.
And it went to be 17-3.
Yeah. Yeah. Go back and watch last week. Figure it out.
I'm gonna
Um,
have to. That was wow.
Cardinals and Rams.
I'm gonna have to
Like I
start
said, we
writing these
both
down.
predicted. We both predicted the Cardinals, and we lost 33 to
Yeah, we
0.
both lost. We
We
terrible lost.
predicted, but you predicted 32. You predicted a 32-30 win for the Cardinals,
Hmm.
and we were wrong. We were completely
Yeah, well, I
off.
wasn't expecting Carson Palmer to get hurt. All my predictions are
True.
never made. I never predict anything, including an injury, because I don't see a. There's no point in saying if you make a prediction, like if I was going to predict the Dallas Cowboys over, say the Buffalo Bills, I'm not going to say, oh,
Mhm.
I'm going to add Dak Prescott. Okay, Dak Prescott's going to get hurt in the second quarter, so the Cowboys are going to lose 24-17. I'm never going to do
Right.
that. So, we make a prediction based off of no injuries.
Exactly. Of course. Yeah. Most definitely. Next, we had the Bills versus the Buccaneers. Rob predicted the Bucks scoring 27 points, but he was wrong. The Bills won 27-30.
How many points did the Bucks score? How many did I say?
You was expect no. You scored. You predicted the correct points for them, but you predicted that they would win,
Oh,
and
see, well, I
you
was
were
close
wrong.
enough. I got one out of
Yeah,
one.
you were
One out of
you were
two.
close. You got the points spot on, but you predicted that they would win, and that didn't happen. Also,
Defense failed me. Defense failed me.
defense fails you. Yep, the Jags went at the Colts. Rob predicted the Jags would win 31-14. The actual score was 27-0.
I had to give the Colts something. I had to give them some benefit of the doubt.
All right. Next up, we got the Titans versus the Ravens. We both predicted the Titans, and they won 12-9. So that was even though that game was raggedy.
Titans versus the
Uh,
Browns.
you know, huh?
I think it was Titans versus the Browns. Titans versus the Browns.
Yeah, Titans versus the Browns. We predicted the Titans would win, and they won 12-9 in that raggedy game.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. There ain't no way that they were gonna
Uh,
beat the Browns.
We got the Dallas Cowboys versus the 49ers. Dallas won 40-10. We predicted that they would win. I don't think we set a score on that one.
Yeah, I don't
We
think so
definitely
either.
predicted they would win.
Couldn't pick a score.
The Bengals versus Seahawks versus the Giants. So what?
Wait, what was that?
You predicted the Steelers would win against the Bengals, and they won 29-14. Versus the Giants, I was wrong. I went for the Giants. Rob was correct. Seahawks won 24-7. Broncos versus the Chargers, we both were wrong. Chargers
Yeah,
won 21-0.
yeah.
And the Falcons versus the Patriots, Pats win 23-7. Rob was Rob and me both were wrong on that one. So we got to do a
Nah,
little
no
bit better
way.
on our.
I never would have went for the Falcons. I'm gonna have to watch that. I don't
Excuse
think if
me,
I
excuse me.
okay.
I read that wrong. I'm sorry. Rob right, me wrong.
We're gonna have to start writing these down when we get this going.
Hey Rob, give me just somebody's knocking on my door. Keep going, dude.
All right. I'm just gonna read through my top 10, and my top 10 is actually pretty interesting this week. I actually have a honorable mention that I have to add in here. I couldn't figure it out. Man, it was a tough choice. But basically, this is going into week 8, I believe we're going into, and my top 10 teams. Um, number 10, I have the Houston Texans. They're sitting at 3-3 right now. They weren't on my list last week. Um, they weren't on my list last week, but the Texans have at least 33 points in the last 4 games. And the record-setting Deshaun Watson having scored 3 touchdowns in 2 of his starts. He's going to push the record further this week. So I'm pretty sure they're going to keep riding that wave. So that's why I got them at 10. And then at 9, I got the Buffalo Bills. They're 4-2. They weren't on the list last week, but I think I double checked this, and they only have they have a 12% chance of winning their division. Obviously, they're in the same division as the Patriots, so that's going to be tough to get a higher percentage than that. But either way,
Boo. Go ahead.
they got they do have a 41% chance to make the playoffs, so that's not bad. That's not bad. But
Nah.
they have to keep this train rolling. They have to keep winning because I believe they face the Patriots and the Dolphins in weeks 12 to 17. So that's going to be tough when they get deep into the end of the season. They're going to be playing the 2 main teams of their division right now because they are 4-2. They're tied with the Dolphins. Number 8, Number 8, I got the Dallas Cowboys sitting at 3-3. They moved up one spot. I had them ninth last week. They're moved up one spot due to Ezekiel Elliott's awesome gameplay.
They
That
moved up.
200,
You moved them up a spot.
yeah, from 9 to 8.
Okay.
Only because Ezekiel Elliott's big game was like
Okay.
220 total
Okay.
yards, and the Cowboys will really need him to show up. They will really need him to show up. What are you saying?
So what?
What are you saying?
No, I didn't say nothing.
You talking to somebody?
No, go ahead. You straight.
Okay. Um, the Cowboys will really need Ezekiel Elliott to perform if they want to keep their name on my list.
Okay.
And then they got
Oh,
I
I
got number
can't wait till you
7.
hear my top 10. I'm so ready for my top. Oh, go ahead. I'm listening.
Then number 7, I got the Minnesota Vikings. They're sitting at 5-2. They weren't on my list last week, but they're sitting at around a roughly 44 or 74% chance to take their division now that Aaron Rodgers is gone. Vikings are the favorite to win that division. And then number 6, I got the
So
Los
you had
Angeles
number so
Rams.
so number seven. Number seven. You had the Minnesota Vikings.
Yeah,
Is that right?
yeah.
Okay. Your list looking pretty similar to mine, dog.
Number 6, I got the Los Angeles Rams sitting at 5-2. They move up 2 spots from my list last week. They're actually leading the NFC West, and they have the best point differential in the whole NFL, in the whole league. But I have them 6th because they lost to their division rival in week 5, who actually is my number
Okay.
5 on my list, the Seattle Seahawks, number 5 on my list. They're sitting at 4-2, and even though they're behind their division rival, the Los Angeles Rams,
Hmm.
their victory over the Los Angeles Rams in week 5 is the reason why I got them ahead of them.
It was impressive. It was an impressive
Heck yeah,
victory.
heck yeah. I mean, the Los
Oh
Angeles
yeah.
Rams, they're 5-2.
Oh
One of their
yeah.
losses against Seattle Seahawks. So
Hmm.
you gotta take note in that. And before I get into my number 4, I have to give an honorable mention because this number 4 spot was really difficult for me. And the honorable mention for number 4 is the Pittsburgh Steelers.
What, dude? Get off my list, dude. Get
The
off my
Pittsburgh
list, bro.
the Pittsburgh
God.
Steelers are the honorable mention. They're not number 4. They're just an honorable mention. They're like a 4.5 to me right now. But they're sitting
Okay.
at 5-2. They're sitting at 5-2. They're 3-0 in their division games this season. And they're going into Detroit, where I believe that they will dominate in Detroit. I expect Le'Veon Bell to carry the ball for at least 15 to 20 times, and he'll rush for over 100 yards, and he'll probably have a pair of touchdowns, and I bet the Steelers go into Detroit and win. But that's my honorable mention, and that's only there because it was really tough for a decision for me. But my number
Okay.
4 is the Oakland Raiders. The Oakland Raiders are 3-4, and they weren't on my list last week. But with the big return of Derek Carr and their gameplay against my overall favorite of they've been my favorite team up until this week, the Kansas City Chiefs. The Oakland Raiders beat them 31-30. But I believe that win is going to boost the morale of the overall Oakland Raiders team into like a new vigor. And we're gonna see a different team now. We're gonna see a different performance coming from that team. And now we're gonna get into the top 3. And
Top three.
for the first time this season, they are not number 1. Now my number 3 is
Okay.
the Kansas City Chiefs. They're 5-2. They've lost 2 in a row, and they've dropped 2 spots on my list. Now, having lost 2 straight, one against their division rivals, obviously why they dropped 2 spots. But they're still second in the league in most points. only to Tom Brady and the New England Patriots, I believe. And um, they're the overall favorite in their division right now. So I still got to put them above the even though the Raiders is lost to them, or even though they lost to the Raiders,
Mm-hmm.
I still think the Chiefs. I put them one up from them. And then
Okay.
number two, my number one and my number two was really difficult. I still think that this is a toss up. This might be a tie, but I'm just gonna I numbered them one and two. But for number two on my list, I got the New England Patriots sitting at 5-2. They move up 2 spots, and in their domination
Who do you
in the Super Bowl,
who do you got for number one?
the New England Patriots
Go ahead,
five and
man. I'm
two,
gonna let you finish.
5-2. They move up 2 spots. Their domination in the over the Falcons in the Super Bowl rematch is the reason why I moved them up 2 spots. Their defense looked so
Okay.
phenomenal. The coaching was superb. They played they played the Falcons as if they were just in a scrimmage. And the Chargers are coming into Foxborough to face the Patriots this coming week. And even though the Chargers have been hot, I don't think they stand a chance against the Patriots. So
You
that's
have no
why
faith in the Chargers, man.
no, none.
You have zero
So the
faith
Patriot,
in the Chargers.
if they okay, I'm gonna have some faith with them. If they go into Foxborough and beat the Patriots, you're gonna see me talk
It
differently
can
about the Chargers
happen.
next week.
It can
But
happen. All right, go ahead.
the Chargers ain't nothing until they do something. Anyways,
Okay.
the
Okay.
number one the best team in the NFL right now, Philadelphia Eagles. Sitting at 6-1, they move up 1 spot. I had them number two last week, but they have the best record in the NFL. Check. Quarterback that leads the league in touchdowns. Check. The best start since 2004. Check. Carson Wentz is a wizard. He's a magician. He's like somebody created him in Madden and just started his career in the video game and is just wrecking everybody. He leads the league in touchdowns right now. And they're right now sitting at an 86% chance to win their division and make the playoffs. It's a
Yep.
super easy W next week against the 49ers, who are winless. So
Hmm.
that's why I got the Philadelphia Eagles sitting at number one. The biggest change this week was the Kansas City Chiefs dropping 2 points and the Patriots moving up, and obviously Philadelphia taking over the number one spot.
Hey, man, that's a stout, very similar top 10 to mine.
You mean yours is similar to
Very
mine?
similar top 10.
Yeah, yours is similar to mine.
So what?
Let's get that. Yours is
Okay.
similar to
Uh
mine. We'll
oh.
get that. Let's get that right.
So you ready? You ready for my power rankings of the week?
Yeah, man. Hold on. Let me get my
Starting
seatbelt.
at number 10.
Ugh.
All right, all right.
Got my seatbelt.
And after I get done with my top 10, we'll go into some MMA news and whatnot. But let me get this top 10 off my head first. So this man right here can know what's up. All right. Number 10, I've got the New Orleans Saints, okay, with Drew Brees coming in at number 10. He improved drastically. Their chances of winning the NFC South is 1.3, went from 1.3% to 63.7% due to the defense. So if it wasn't for the defense, they still would be looking raggedy like they were the first part of the season. Move up to number 9. I got the Falcons with Matt Ryan. He has a high chance of winning the NFC South. Yeah, he's on a 3-game losing streak though, but Matt Ryan's been doing. We just got done talking about them, but I think he still makes my top 10 just because he has the potential to do much better than what he's doing. So I'm gonna keep. They're down a few spots. Let's see, where were they at last week on my list? Oh no, the Falcons are down 2 spots on my list. Last week they were number 7, so Falcons are down 2 spots. Go up to number 8. I got the Minnesota Vikings with Minnesota Vikings. They came to the NFC with Aaron Rodgers being hurt. The Vikings now come into the NFC North as a favorite. So that's why. Let's see where they were last week on my list. I don't even think I had them on my list last week. They didn't even make it, but um, that's kind of the team to keep the eye on, man. You talk a lot about the Chargers. I think the Vikings as well is a team that everybody should keep the eye on, keep a side eye on the Vikings. Number 7, I'm going to go with the Oakland Raiders. The win over the Chiefs saved them. I mean, because the Raiders weren't looking too well, but uh, Derek Carr. I mean, what do you think about him being so high up on my list?
I don't think he's high enough.
You don't think he's high enough on my list? Okay, okay. Sorry, y'all. I'm looking at my notes. Y'all gonna have to bear with me. I don't memorize this stuff. Um, let's see. Go up to number 6. You got the LA Rams. They coming in 5-2. Jared Goff. They currently lead the NFC West, so they're doing pretty well. I think I need to bump the Ram. If the Rams get a win this week, they'll probably go up a couple spots. Um, they need to beat some couple notable teams first to get up in there. They haven't really played anybody yet. You go up to number 5, 3-3, Dallas Cowboys with Dak Prescott. He has a 12.5% chance of winning the NFC East. Um,
I'm
then
surprised that percent is so low, considering they're in the same
it
division as
is.
the
That's what I was
Giants.
getting ready to say, dude. I don't understand why it's so low. He didn't make my list last week, but he made my list this week. So I'll have to see. We have to see what they're doing. My neighbor D, my best friend D's in here. Um, he's commentating on what we're talking about over here. He said if they beat the Eagles. Let's see.
It's not going to happen.
I have to go with the Pittsburgh Steelers with Ben Roethlisberger. Now I just got done Ben Roethlisberger last week. Raggedy games, and he does. Ben Roethlisberger plays raggedy games. Everybody knows that, but it's working for him, Rob. Right or wrong?
I I don't. The Steelers' victories are not because of Ben. The Steelers' recent victories are because of Antonio Brown and Le'Veon Bell. I mean, yeah, Antonio Brown can't get the ball without Ben Roethlisberger, but Ben Roethlisberger is like it's like that movie with Jackie Chan where he punches people drunk and whatnot. And he wins fights. That's like Ben Roethlisberger. He like
Don't
plays
do
the
him
game
like
like
that, man.
he's quarterback drunk, right? That's what he's doing.
It's
He's
working
just
for. It's working for him. It's working for him. They are the only team, the only winning team left in the AFC North. So
yeah.
you got to give them some kind of credit, dog. Some kind of credit.
Well, there's not a lot going on in there.
Um,
It's not a lot going on in Baltimore, and there's not a lot going on. Obviously, there's never anything going on in Cleveland. And the Bengals, I mean, they were hot early, and then they just fell off. So
yeah.
it's not hard to be a winning team in that division.
All right. So go up to number 3. I'm gonna go with Alex Smith and the Kansas City Chiefs. Okay. Second most points per game, favorite for AFC West. So I mean, their record's 5-2. You know, I mean, that's a strong record right now. A couple other teams should be 5-2, but I mean, 5-2 not a bad. Going into week 8, that's not a bad place to be. 5-2, that's pretty good. Alex Smith has been playing really, really well. He needs to talk to a couple of the other quarterbacks, and tell them how to play. Because I mean, Brett Hundley. Well, nah, we ain't gonna talk about Brett Hundley no more. All right, my number 2 is the Philadelphia Eagles. Okay, the Eagles, the Eagles with Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz leads the NFL in passing touchdowns, but Carson Wentz is out this week, so I'm still gonna keep the Eagles number 2. I can't keep Carson Wentz there because he's injured, but I keep the Eagles as a team at number 2. So I'm pulling them for the win this week. I think they can survive without Carson Wentz. What you think?
I think they'll be fine without him.
That's why I say I think they'll be pretty good without Carson Wentz. They ain't gonna fall in their face like some other teams I know when their quarterback gets hurt. Anyways, I'm gonna go to number 1 is with Tom Brady and the New England Patriots. As much as I hated to put Tom Brady um, as number 1, I mean, you have to put him in. If he's doing what he's doing, you got to put him there, man. He's up 4 spots on my top 10 list. So I'm gonna keep him at number 1, man, for right now. I got faith in him this week. Who are they playing this week? I got it wrote down somewhere.
Chargers.
The Charge. Ooh,
Yeah, easy win.
ooh. Yeah, but the Chargers look like they in the season
Chargers ain't gonna do
of
anything.
upsets right now.
They ain't gonna do anything. They're gonna go into Foxborough, and Tom Brady's gonna throw for 420 yards, and he's gonna probably win the game 36-6.
Uh-oh. Here we go. All right. So that was my top 10.
It was a good.
Me
It
and
was. It
Rob
was.
had a
It
couple
was, it
similarities.
was pretty good. It was pretty good.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It took me about 4 days to come up. Well, about 2 days, 2 whole days to come up with that top 10.
Yeah, I don't know where you were thinking with the Saints on the list, but okay.
What? Let's see. What they at? What did I put the Saints at?
You got them at 10.
They're number 10. They're number
Yeah,
10.
there's other teams you could have put there. You could have put the Jacksonville Jaguars there. You could have put the Buffalo Bills there.
I
Why the
could have,
Saints?
but
You said Drew Brees was doing something. He ain't really done anything. I mean, yeah, their defense is
but
carrying
he
them,
took
but they ain't been doing
but
much.
he went from having a like I said he went from having a 1.3% chance to a 63.7% chance
Yeah, but a lot of that percentage went up
to
because of
winning the
a
NFC
lot of that a
South.
lot of that percentage went up because the Panthers lost. It had nothing to do with the Saints winning.
Okay, if you say so. That's my team. That's fanboy BJ's team to keep an eye on. Next week you'll see, Rob. All right.
You say that every week.
No. You gonna put me on the spot like that, Rob? Okay. All right. All right. All right. So we're gonna move to some MMA news. I got a lot of MMA news, guys. Not a lot, but I got enough MMA news. UFC veteran Mark Hunt is in a all-out social media blast out with Dana White. Like it's so bad, dude, that it's pretty ugly. He says after cursing Dana White out last week on Twitter, we can't even read that tweet because it's so bad. We're PG-13 here.
It's bad.
Uh,
Yeah, it's bad.
Dana White is trying to push me out of the UFC because I call out cheaters. And that is true. Mark Hunt is known. He's not known for keeping his mouth shut. He's known for saying what he thinks and saying what he thinks he knows. And if somebody cheated, you best believe Mark Hunt's gonna say something about it. So,
Yep.
um, Mark Hunt is also showing signs. It's been rumors going around that Mark Hunt is showing signs of, I forgot what it's called, but when a fighter takes too much damage over the years, um, and he's starting to show signs of it, real bad. And for one, they're saying that well, he did an article with Player's Voice, and they kind of took words out of context, and Mark Hunt called him out on it. But they said that he slurs his words and he stutters a lot, and so now everybody's jumped on it like, oh, Mark Hunt, you need to retire. You're taking too much damage. It's starting to affect you, this and that. And then they're also reporting that he said he had memory loss, but he was talking about all these things, and I think they kind of took what he said out of context. So he's kind of like, um, screw y'all, this and that. So he's just, going on a rant. Also, ex UFC bantamweight Misha Tate is also saying that Mark Hunt should just retire. Misha Tate, you know, I'm a fan of Misha Tate, but it seems like here lately, Misha Tate's had a lot to say about a lot of different fighters of what people should and shouldn't do. Misha Tate, I'm sorry, I love you. You are my favorite women's MMA fighter ever, but stop talking about people. You should come back and fight in the UFC instead of retiring at 30 years old and
Maybe that's all she
hiking every
can do.
day.
Maybe that's all she
I mean,
can do is talk.
really, she talks. She talks like she says a lot, and it's kind of like,
That's all she can do,
you
bro.
know,
She could just
I
talk, but she
guess
can't fight
so.
no more.
I guess that's kind of the role she's taking on now is, analysis and commentating stuff like that. So, anyways, um, but Mark Hunt has been in some wars. I mean, he's fought Brock Lesnar. I mean, Mark Hunt's been hit. I mean, he's knocked people out too. He knocked out Stephen Struve. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he's definitely He's definitely dope. Would you say, D?
He's got more K1 fights than people have in MMA.
Yeah, yeah, I know. He's got more. He's got more. K1 fights than people have MMA fights as a whole. So Mark Hunt is definitely he's a veteran, and there does come a point in time. What Mark Hunt's like? What 40? There does come a point in time where you need to just kind of chill out because he's getting older. He's been fighting for a long time. He's been hit a lot. He's been head kicked, knocked out, everything.
Let that
So
man fight.
yeah, that's what he's saying. He's saying let him fight because he was taken off of a card coming up because they said that. I mean, they said that he didn't pass his medical exam. So
They paid the doctor.
right now,
They just don't
but
want him to fight no more.
he thinks it's because of other reasons.
He
So
walk around eating donuts and eating too.
true. He's a big man. He's a very big man. But to move on to UFC 217, GSP. This is what GSP said today. I caught this news on the way to work this morning. GSP says that Michael Bisping, the middleweight champion, is terrified of his wrestling. He's
Yep.
saying that subliminally through interviews and other things that Michael Bisping is in a way begging him to stand and trade with him because that's what Michael Bisping has the advantage. Um,
There's no advantage.
Michael Bisping is subject to a takedown, and the ground game is where GSP excels. If anyone ever
Yep.
goes back and watches any of
That's
GSP's fights, that's kind of his thing.
that's how
And
he.
Michael Bisping's been beat on the ground. You know,
But he's an underrated black belt.
he is a black belt. Yes, he is. But he's subject to the takedown because he's so focused on knocking
What weight are
people
they
out
fighting at?
that middleweight 185, 185.
185.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I mean he's trying to knock everybody out, therefore he's been subject to the
He
takedown.
doesn't have
I still think GSP is gonna take him in the third round. I
I
think that's
thought
what I said.
I want to pull for Michael Bisping. But it seems to me like the pressure of the return of GSP is starting to get to Michael Bisping, so he's trying to mask it by pulling this whole Conor McGregor, junk talking act thing. But I think in the back of Michael Bisping's head, he's like, if GSP takes me down, I may lose this fight. So I think that's why he keeps saying, stand and trade with me, stand and fight with me, because that's Michael Bisping's territory. He seems to be better on his feet than he is off of his feet. And GSP is the complete opposite. So we'll see. We'll see.
disagree.
We'll see how that pans out. GSP says he will use all of his tools to beat Michael Bisping, whether that's standing and trading or on the ground.
Yep.
He also released a statement saying that if Michael Bisping didn't know his ground game, then maybe he should be a kickboxer and not a mixed martial artist. That
You
came
know what?
straight from GSP's.
You know what's probably happening? Bisping is probably in his camp right now, and they probably showed a certain film, or they probably showed a certain a certain fight, and that's
Mm-hmm.
probably what got him talking because he saw something that GSP does that Bisping just knows is his weakness.
Right, right. But GSP was the most dominant middleweight champion. He retired the champion, and
For
now
many years.
he's back. I mean, he held the title for years. So I think Michael Bisping. I predict that. I say a third round KO. I mean,
I'm thinking GSP,
From
yeah,
Michael
takes it
Bisping.
in
I
the
say a
third
third
round.
round
Probably,
KO from GSP.
I'm thinking submission,
I don't think so.
Submission. You think submission? What round?
third round.
Third round submission. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Um. All right. So moving on. We have had a UFC card over the weekend. It wasn't a big card. It was a fight night in Poland. It was a great card. There's a lot of people on there. There's a lot of the lower ranked fighters on there, but there were some names on there that I've mentioned on the show before
I was on there.
that we can definitely. So what?
I was on there.
You was on there. Okay.
Yeah, I was on there.
Yeah. So we got Fight Night 118 in Poland, Gdansk. I think that's how you say it. Gdansk, Florida. I mean, Poland.
Florida.
So Andre Touchy, no, I don't know why I said Florida. Andre Touchy Feely. His last name is Feely, but his name is Touchy Feely. You get it? Yeah. He defeats veteran Autumn Lobo via unanimous decision. Now, the reason I'm pointing out this fight is because Autumn Lobo fights on the same team as Conor McGregor.
SPV.
The 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 ref stopped the fight. You're only supposed to have 3 people in your corner, coaching you. That's the
Right.
only you can only have 3 people. That's the
Right.
rules.
Yep.
Conor McGregor is standing outside the cage, screaming and hollering for Autumn Lobo. The ref had to stop the fight and had to have Conor McGregor escorted out just because
Ha.
he wouldn't shut his mouth. That was the craziest thing. I said Conor McGregor is always gonna find a way to put the spotlight on him. And even
Yep.
the ref said it. He's like, this guy can't do what he wants. The ref, you can hear the ref saying that. He's thinking he could coach this guy from in a suit and tie from halfway around the cage. You can't do that. You have to be in his corner, and there's only 3 people. You're a fourth man, so sit down like everybody else
Do
and watch
you
the fight.
bringing that up? Do you think that Conor McGregor feels he's becoming irrelevant?
I don't think that. That's a good question, Rob.
I mean, think about it. Think about it. With all that talk that's been going on about, who was that dude that you were talking about that says that he should fight Diaz again? Because,
Khabib,
yeah, I've heard.
Nurmagomedov.
Just think about it. He's been in the news a lot.
Yeah, he was. They were. Ariel Hawaiian just had an interview with Khabib. Khabib's
Exactly.
still preaching.
He's in the news a lot, and a lot of people are talking about Diaz too. And the only reason they would, and like the only thing I've heard of Conor McGregor coming up is him talking about fighting Diaz again. I haven't really heard anything. I mean, he's the champion, obviously, but I haven't heard anything major about him. Not like I hear about other fighters.
Does Conor McGregor think he's becoming irrelevant? Well, there are some rising stars coming up in the UFC right now. I don't think that Conor.
No, the question.
Thinks,
I think Conor is starting to feel like maybe he's moving out of the spotlight.
Well, see, Conor, but then again, you have to think Conor hadn't fought in the octagon in a while. Conor's last fight was Eddie Alvarez.
Yeah.
And then he went on and did the whole Mayweather thing. So we just hadn't seen him in the octagon in a while. I think that's what it is. I don't think that he's becoming irrelevant. I think we just hadn't seen him.
No, I don't think that
octagon.
he is. No, we know he's not becoming irrelevant. But I'm starting to think that maybe with this, shenanigans that he's been pulling lately.
Yeah.
I'm thinking he feels he's becoming.
He may feel he's becoming irrelevant. He may, because it's not all about him right now. The UFC. I think he's starting to realize no matter what I do, the UFC trucks on. The UFC moves on. So maybe he's feeling like that.
Maybe he thought that the whole McGregor thing or the whole Mayweather thing was going to be a bigger deal than what it actually
really
was. I mean,
obviously,
it was a huge deal up until the fight, but everything after the fight, it's like everybody just automatically.
You haven't heard
it was gone. Once it was
haven't
over,
heard anything else
gone.
about that fight.
Yeah, it was done, gone.
McGregor Mayweather. It was garbage. So, all right. So, bantamweight. Moving to the bantamweight division. You got Brian Keller defeats Damian Stasiak via TKO punches in the round 3. That was pretty good. I know Damian Stasiak competed on the Ultimate Fighter, so that's how I'm pretty familiar with him. But Brian Keller, newcomer, defeats Damian Stasiak. Well, he put on a pretty good performance. Moved to the strawweight division. Karolina Kowalkiewicz. She is a former strawweight contender, strawweight challenger. She fought Joanna Jędrzejczyk 2 fights ago, and she lost. And then she turned around and lost to Claudia Gadelha. I mean, those are the top 2 strawweights in the world. But she welcomed Invicta veteran Jody Escobar. She invited her on to the UFC. It was Jody's UFC debut, and put on a clinic. It was terrible. She snapped her 2-fight losing streak. She was undefeated before she fought Joanna Jędrzejczyk, and then she lost via submission to Claudia Gadelha, if I'm thinking about that correctly. So Karolina definitely needed a revival, and she got it when she stepped in there with Jody Escobar, because she put on. That girl wasn't ready to fight Karolina Kowalkiewicz. She wasn't at all. Very outclassed. Move up to the women's bantamweight division. In undefeated Invicta bantamweight, Aspen Ladd steps up and she steps into the cage with UFC bantamweight Lena Landsberg. Now we know Aspen Ladd is she's a ground fighter. She's a wrestler. Um, Very short statured wrestler, very strong wrestler. And then you got Lena Landsberg, who's very tall, very lanky, very long limbs, and she's a Muay Thai fighter. So, and it just as long as the fight was on the feet, the fight was fantastic. As long as Lena kept the fight on the feet and dominated in the clinch, she was throwing her name is the elbow queen. She was throwing elbows, landing elbows, and round two came along and Aspen got the takedown, and it was all she wrote. She was her ground, and Lena Landsberg is saying it was an early stoppage, but uh, I mean Aspen Ladd she was hitting her so hard that she was screaming. So um,
That's a real beating.
that's a
She
real
was
beating when you're
she
screaming
was
like
like
that.
she was like being her mother for a minute there.
Yeah, yeah, she was. It was crazy. And Lena's complaint. She had a lengthy Facebook post today claiming that it was an early stoppage, but it is what it is. If you win, you lose. I'm pretty sure she'll get the come. She's 2-1 in the UFC right now. Um, um, Excuse me, she's 1-2 in the UFC right now. She lost her debut against Chris Cyborg. She went on to win in a rematch against Lucy Podolova, and now she's lost against Aspen Ladd. So I don't think she'll go anywhere. I think she'll get another couple fights. Um, but on to the main event was Donald Cowboy Cerrone versus Darren Till. I didn't know much about Darren Till before this fight. I just know he was a really long fighter. He's a really big fighter. He's big for that weight class. Um, and he stuns the world with a beating. He beat Cowboy Cerrone. He beat Donald Cerrone the worst I've ever seen him beat. That was the worst I've ever seen Donald Cerrone beat
It was
up.
a knockout.
And yeah, it was a knockout. Most definitely, it was a knockout. Um, Darren Till stays 13. He stays 16-0. He was undefeated. He was 15-0 walking in. And it was crazy how Cowboy, he's always known for being very cocky, very confident. He was bragging to Darren Till about how he's got more fight of the night bonuses than Darren Till has fights. And Darren Till, Cowboys, he's flashy. He's a country guy. He's flashy. He's gonna talk a lot of junk. Darren Till's a very calm, very collected person. And I've noticed that in the UFC, you have to watch out for those quiet, calm people like Tyron Woodley, Darren Till. Now that I think about Darren Till, Joanna Young Jacek, very quiet, very humble person. Amanda Nunes, very humble person. Those are the ones that are knocking people out, you know? And I mean, he didn't fall into the trash talking trap that Donald Cerrone was trying to bait him into. He just said, I'm confident. He said it over and over. I'm confident in my skills, and I'm confident that I will win this fight. And that's exactly what he did. I mean, Cowboy Cerrone was outclassed. Now everybody's talking about retirement. Should he retire? This and that. I mean, because he's got over 40 fights, over 40 professional MMA fights. That's a lot of fights. But I don't think it's his time. I don't think it's his time. I think he's got a few more fight. I think he's got a few more brawls left in him. Maybe another run for the title, but he's got to start it up pretty quick because he's losing against lower rank guys. Um, Go on to the bantamweight division. Cody Garbrandt. Oh my God, Cody Garbrandt is. I mean, he's a topic of a lot of discussion nowadays, especially with this bantamweight division, because the bantamweight division's been a little quiet ever since Dominic Cruz lost the title. Um, but Dillashaw, Cody Garbrandt versus TJ Dillashaw is part of the biggest card. The Michael Bisping card is part of the biggest card of the year. So we will definitely be seeing that. TJ Dillashaw says that Cody Garbrandt's biggest downfall is that he's less of a fighter. He's less of an athlete and more of a fighter. So Dillashaw says he's less of an athlete and more of a fighter, which means that what he's trying to say is he thinks that that Garbrandt's in there trying to knock people out instead of finding ways to win. Because Dillashaw finds ways to win. Like he's not in there just swinging for the fences, trying to knock people out. And he's saying that Cody Garbrandt is that type of fighter. Like he just wants to go in there and just knock people out. You know that he's more of a fighter than an athlete. Now he did say he believes that Cody Garbrandt is a terrific athlete, but when it comes to in the cage, he just believes that he's pretty much what Dillashaw was saying, that his fight IQ is higher than Cody Garbrandt's. So, and he's also shooting to be the next two division champion as well, because what he wants to do is take this belt from TJ Dillashaw, I mean from Cody Garbrandt, and then he wants to jump down to 125 and beat Demetrius Johnson. Okay, so if he could, and he's pretty confident. TJ Dillashaw, he's a smaller guy. He's pretty confident that he can make 125. He fights at 135. He said he's pretty confident he can make 125, and he wants to drop down and take Demetrius. And he said that he could have stopped Demetrius Johnson from setting that record. Um, I don't know how stylistically that them two are going to match up, because on the feet I see Demetrius Johnson with the disadvantage. I see TJ Dillashaw with the advantage on the feet. But as far as the ground, I haven't seen anyone except for Tim Elliott, who won the Ultimate Fighter. That is the only person that I have seen that is able to do anything with Demetrius Johnson on the ground. His ground game is just
Fire.
second to none. Yeah, it's second to none. And I think he would definitely have the advantage on the ground, but on the feet, TJ Dillashaw all day long. It's definitely going to be a size difference there because Demetrius Johnson is a very small guy, but I mean, he may be able to duck and dodge around TJ. TJ moves very well. Ever since he fought, he had the wars with Dominic Cruz. He's definitely perfected his movement, so he moves a whole lot better than what he did a couple years ago before he fought Dominic Cruz, because Dominic Cruz is a very awkward moving person in the ring. So
Demetrius is only a blue belt or a purple.
yeah, Demetrius. My friend D said that Demetrius Johnson is only a what? A blue belt in what, Brazilian Jiu Jitsu, and versus TJ Dillashaw is a black belt.
Oh, okay.
I think he is a black belt. Yes. So, but Demetrius Johnson's ground game hasn't been touched. Nobody. I mean, he's beat everybody in his division. I mean, like he has beat everyone in the division. I mean, countless number one contenders, countless, and nobody's beat him.
This is the opportunity.
I mean, yeah, he waits for you. He plays around with people on the ground. He waits for an opening. He takes the opening, and he finishes. He finishes the fight. But that's mainly that he's only done that. The last Demetrius Johnson fights that I've seen, the last 4 or 5, they've all been wins on the ground. I don't know. I don't think he can really hang with TJ Dillashaw on the feet, because TJ Dillashaw has fought the who of the who in the bantamweight division. So, and TJ's the former bantamweight champion. So
Since he went to bang like
yeah, Dwayne Ludwig, yeah. But
he's been all right.
we'll see what happens, though. We'll see what happens. We got a lot coming up, especially with the UFC 217. We got, like I said, like I've been talking about, Rose Namajunas versus Joanna Jędrzejczyk.
Yeah, I can't wait for that.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't, to be honest, now that I've been thinking about it, Rob, I can't predict a winner for that fight.
I can. Rose. Third round.
For Joanna versus Rose. I can't. I'm just gonna have to watch it.
Rose was not ready.
Doug Rose. Third round.
A lot of some of my friends are saying that Rose Namajunas is not ready yet, but I think I think it's more of, with Rose Namajunas, I think her mentality is more like, F it. Let's just do it. Let's get in there. Let's fight. Kind of like Tanya Evanger in a way. Let's get in there. Let's fight, and let's see who wins.
Doug Rose. Third round. Ground KO.
Third round KO, huh? And we'll see, man. Yeah, we'll see, dude. But that's all I got, man. The only thing I got left is the predictions for next week, homie.
Well, let's see how wrong you can be then.
Who, me? Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
We'll see. We will see. We will
We did
see.
pretty. We did pretty
Yeah, we
terrible.
did
We
all right.
did
We did.
terrible last
No,
week.
we did all right. We did all right. We did all right.
It's
All right.
okay though.
But you know what? We're gonna start with the Thursday night game. We're gonna end the show with our predictions, and we're gonna go 100% this week. All right.
Okay.
We really gotta think about this. Thursday
I
night
did
game.
predictions last week. I'm gonna let you do the predictions this week. So you should let me ask you the predictions because I did the predictions last week.
All right. You have the games written down.
Yeah. Yep. I sure do.
All right.
Let's go. All
Go ahead.
right. So Thursday night we got the Dolphins versus the Ravens. Thursday night at 8:25. What you got, Rob?
Where's it at?
I have no idea where it's at.
It's in Baltimore.
Okay. So what you got? Ravens got
I think
home
the
field
Dolphins.
advantage.
I think the Dolphins are gonna win 17-6. Dolphins will win
All right.
17-6.
Okay. Going into that's only okay Sunday at 9:30 a.m. That's pretty early. We got the
Yeah, I know that's
Vikings
weird.
versus the
I
Browns.
read that too, and I thought that I read that wrong, but
I thought I read it wrong too, dude. But I was like 9:30. I had to look at another website. I said 9:30 a.m. So I got the Vikings versus the Browns. What you got?
31-7 Vikings.
Who do you got for the win?
31-7 Vikings.
31. I think they're playing overseas, right?
I think so. Maybe yeah. That's probably why.
Yeah. Honestly. Chargers versus the Patriots. We hit on that a little bit. What you think, man?
Patriots 34, Chargers 10.
Ooh, okay. That's Sunday at 1 p.m. Sunday also at 1 o'clock is the Bears versus the Saints. Who you got?
Oh man, two good defenses.
Two good defenses. I know.
Hmm. It's in New
It's a good one.
Orleans.
You gonna go with New Orleans?
Where is it at? It's in New Orleans, right?
I think so. Yeah, I think that one is in New Orleans.
Mm,
That's a tough one. That's why I didn't want to answer this week.
23-9 Saints.
Ooh, 23-9. Okay. Good one coming up too. Sunday at 1 p.m. The Panthers versus the Buccaneers.
17-16 Buccaneers.
That's what I said too. I agree with you on the Buccaneers.
Yep.
Sunday at 1 p.m. Also, you got the Bengals versus the Colts. Now, I get my prediction on this one. It's definitely gonna be the Colts. Colts 24-10.
Where are they at? In Cincinnati?
They're in Cincinnati.
Oh, fuck no. Daniels got that.
28-17 Bengals.
Wow. Okay, man. Okay, dog. All right. Raiders versus the Bulls Sunday at 1 p.m.
Bills.
The Bills, excuse me.
This isn't the NBA, bro. Okay, if it
Raiders
was the
versus the
Bulls, I'll
Bills.
pick the Raiders all day. If it
I
was
picked
the
the Raiders
Bulls.
too if it was the Bulls.
But yeah, I'm still gonna pick the Raiders. I'm probably gonna say 19-16.
Yeah, Raiders on my number 6 on my power rankings this week. 49ers versus the Eagles Sunday at 1 p.m.
42-3
That's a good one.
Eagles.
What? Okay. Sunday at 1 p.m. Falcons versus the Jets. My number 19, Falcons, baby.
Jets
I'm about to go with the
24,
Jets.
Falcons
I mean the
20.
Falcons, excuse me. You said the Jets 24 and the Falcons 20.
Yep.
Okay, okay. Sunday at 4:05 p.m. Yeah, the Texans versus the Seattle Seahawks.
Texans 31, Seahawks 25.
25.
Yep.
Are you fucking crazy? Are you fucking crazy?
Oh boy!
Are you fucking crazy?
Stop!
Oh, God damn it! Fuck
My
that
bad,
shit.
dog. All right. So Cowboys versus the Redskins Sunday at 4:25.
Where's it at? Is it in Dallas?
Yes, in Dallas.
Man.
I'm gonna have to go with the Cowboys, man. They're number five on my list. Um,
Yeah, but it's
I have to
division
go with the
rivalry is
Cowboys.
why it's so tough. Isn't it?
Say what?
Uh
You said is that a division rivalry? Yes. 12.5% chance of winning the NFC East for the Cowboys. I'm riding with that 12, man. I'm gonna have to go with the Cowboys.
actually I think it's in Washington. So the
Where
Cowboys will
you-
go on the road. I'm
Redskins
probably gonna say Cowboys 21, Redskins 23.
23. Okay. Okay. Steelers Lions Sunday at
Ste-
8:30.
Steelers 27, Lions 21.
21. Okay. And last but not least, the Broncos versus the Chiefs. I know what you're gonna say on this one.
Chiefs 23,
I knew that was gonna happen. 23 to what?
0.
Now, real quick, I want to ask you a question. Do you predict any blowouts this week? I predict one blowout. I
Yeah,
predict
Eagles versus the
one.
49ers.
You think it's the Eagles versus the 49ers?
Yeah, 42-3.
Okay. No, I'm talking about zero.
Okay, Chiefs over the Bucks 23-0.
No, the Chiefs are playing the Broncos.
That's what I said. Chiefs over the Chiefs over the
That's who I
Broncos.
was. That's who I was going to choose. I was going to choose. We both predicted a blowout. Okay,
Is that the Rams?
Ravens predict blowout.
Who's the Rams?
All right, so Broncos versus Chiefs on a blowout. 49ers versus Eagles, that may be a blowout too. So that's our second choice. I say that's my second choice. I believe that the 49ers versus the Eagles will be a blowout. And I think that the Colts will blow. I think the Colts will blow out the Bengals too.
I don't think so. Colts don't have a lot
You don't
going
think
on.
so?
Colts don't really have a lot going on.
I'm gonna put a star beside that one.
Whoever the
I'm gonna
Rams
put a
are
star.
gonna
But that's all I got, dog. That's all I got, man.
Yeah, I wrote them all down, so we'll have them for next
I
week.
got them too, man. Bye, y'all.
Nice, 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 nice. I'm looking forward to it. I don't know what
I'm
the I
looking
don't know
forward
I
to it too.
don't know what the big deal was. Must be Buddy over there as a Seahawks fan. He just can't accept losses.
Good show, man. We covered a lot of stuff today. We
Yeah, I
got the
wish
NBA starting.
yeah, the NBA started. MLB is coming to a close. Um, still some more injuries. All these brittle players in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, hopefully next week we can get to the bottom of that whole Des Bryant nonsense. That'll be interesting.
Super interesting. But we gotta
But
let it come out first.
yeah. Other than that, I think this upcoming games are going to be pretty good. But yeah, the show tonight was real good. I don't know how was the live feed. Anybody talking?
Oh yeah, we definitely we had a few people saying that the Browns have been trash forever. Uh, when the Let me see. Let me go back to my scores, and there was a couple that they pointed out. Um, let's see here. Talking about the Giants, I knew it was about the Giants. Someone said the Giants are straight garbage, straight trash. Uh, I mean, I don't know, dude. What is going on with the Giants, bro? I mean, for real, dude. Just real quick before we out.
I'll tell you what's going on with the Giants. The Giants have lost their whole offensive, all of their offensive weapons, bro.
You think so, bro? I think they've been disabled.
Well, they lost four of their starting wide receivers.
Yeah, they do. And then they lost Odell Beckham Jr.
Marty's
Oh
Yeah,
no,
Victor Cruz is out.
I don't know, man. There's just they're fighting for 31st place.
Next to who, Rob? The Browns?
49ers and the Browns.
So you've been dragging the Browns for the last couple of weeks, but no faith in the Browns whatsoever. Order 49ers.
That's what happens when you got a O in the win column.
Yeah, I know, right? Well, man, I guess next week when we come in, we'll be let's see, I have I'm trying to figure out what I'll have.
Next week we're gonna roll
the
in
big fight
and all.
card.
Go ahead.
The big fight card isn't until 2 weeks, so they come around. What were you saying, Rob?
I was saying next week we're gonna roll in and all my predictions are gonna be 100% correct.
Okay, all right. I mean, you'll probably do better than mine from last week. Well, you kind of chimed in on mine too last week, but you do better than I did because I was garbage last week. But guys, thanks a lot for watching. Hit the like button, of course. I want to give a
So
birthday shout out to my boy D. He turned 60 to now. I'm just playing.
Yeah, gang this shit. Gang shit.
Dude, he's crazy. He's crazy. But it's his birthday. He's a faithful sports scrutiny watcher. Um, most definitely, guys. But thanks for tuning
if
in.
you
Um,
haven't already, hit the subscribe, hit the
hit the subscribe
notification,
button. Hit the like button. Uh, most
turn
definitely. And
notifications on.
turn notifications on. Follow us on Twitter. Follow us on Facebook. We have our own Facebook now. Um, we got a special episode coming up in the coming weeks, guys. I don't know. Me and Rob hadn't really talked about it, but we're gonna do a live Facebook feed. Uh, there's a way you can do a two-person feed on Facebook now. So we're gonna do a short segment on Facebook 1 week. We won't keep you guys here forever like we do during the week. So we'll do a quick Facebook 20, 30-minute video one day. Just talk about some hot topics or whatever. Whatever we decide to do, we may end up doing a whole episode on Facebook. So it just depends.
Don't worry, we won't.
It's whatever we decide on, right, Rob?
Maybe. Yeah, bro. Whatever.
This guy right.
Whatever
This
happens.
guy right here. Well, all right, guys, we are done for the day, and we will catch you guys next week at 9:30 sharp on Sports
Yes,
Scrutiny
sir.
Live.
Yes, sir. Like, share, subscribe.
Oh yeah, most definitely subscribe. Thanks for keeping the live chat rolling too, guys.
Sure.
We out.
For sure.